Uh, we're ready to hit off this review. I'm very glad to announce that everything went well week one. I think well, you're gonna have to forgive me because this is gonna take a little bit to load. Everything in week one went really well. I'm very glad that everything went off smoothly. We had some banger games. We had some upsets. That's everything that could have gone well week one went well. The standings? No. Yeah, this is the standings for week one. The Idaho Grafai's, Milwaukee Saucebook, Sutopolis Stunfist, Met Salamances, Porto Dragonites, and Sunny Shore Oshawotts won. Three of them went 2-0, and the other three went 2-1. By the way, if anyone hasn't, if you guys want still, you guys can submit your logos. So these are the standings. These were the teams that were brought, and I have this little page here that's called the MVP race. This is supposed to be a little for fun thing. That doesn't mean anything, which is supposed to put the Pokemon that were that put up the best performance. I thought I went into to this match. I was the fourth match. The Landorus went in and won, and I thought it wasn't gonna be overtaken until the very last game of the week. Roaring Moon managed to take a 9-1 and snipe the first place, which is amazing. It's like upsets all around. Upsets are what we live for. So the way this is giving me Uncanny War flashbacks to University. Oh nah. So let's go over the games first. We're gonna go top down. Okay, these will be big. Okay, we're gonna go game by game. First, let's look at the teams. I brought a very standard size spam team with some balance. We had a decent Firewater Grass core, Indeedee, and instead of being Iron Crown, because I thought of bringing Iron Crown. However, 1, 2, 3 dark types, 1, 2 fire types, 1 ground type, and another fighting type that really discouraged me of bringing the psychic steel type. So I thought it was better if I, instead of bringing Iron Crown, decided to bring Iron Valiant, because I have better usage of the fairy typing against his team than I do with my steel type. The steel type deals well with Clefairy and Fluttermane. Fluttermane question mark, because Fluttermane is very bulky especially. But anyways, if I brought a very like balanced team, there's your support disruptors, there's the sweepers, and I brought the same thing, except I assumed for the most part, this is one of the interesting things about the draft league is that how do I say it? Very strategies that you can predict are the best ones. So for example, Landorus here is a Pokemon that is very that usually has a higher attack than its special attack, but its special moveset's so much better and it works so much better with his ability that no one brings a physical Landorus and opt for the special one because it hits a lot harder. Life Orb Sheer Force work a lot better with Earth Power than it does with Earthquake. So I used it to my advantage a bit. Let's see our guns. I opened Indeedee Landorus. He opens Volcarona and Incineroar. Very good start. I set up the Psychic Terrain with Indeedee. Indeedee is a very safe option here because I shut off his Incineroar from using Fake Out. I shut off Sucker Punch from Urshifu. Most of his priority moves just disappear. So in here, I am free to just go on the offensive because he can't disrupt me. Turn 1 to E-Terrace to Grass, which is, by the way, very good option. It takes off his if I go for a ground type move, he instead of going neutral, he resists it well. I go for Hyper Voice because I can't go for Expanding Force or Dazzling Gleam because it's not going to do a lot of damage. I go for the Rock Slide, which is essentially my small trump card. Because physical Landorus does a lot better into his team than the special one. He sets up the Tailwind, which gives him an advantage. Knockoff one-shots the Indeedee. It's a very stab knockoff double damage one-shots Indeedee every time. I send my speed boosted to Iron Valiant. I go for the Dazzling Gleam. He protects his Volcarona, which is good. He wants to keep his main supportive piece alive. I still go for the Rock Slide because my Landorus is still faster than his Incin, because it's a relatively slow Mon. And my Mon is max speed. Sends out the Flutter Mane. Here I Terra Psychic because I want to dodge a potential like Fairy type move, because I want to take my weakness away. But he Moonblasts the Landorus, and then he Struggle Bugs the both of them. Here the idea is he brought Struggle Bug because it was gonna do well against my Landorus, but because it's physical, it's only serving right now as chip damage. In here, my Valiant is always faster than my Landorus. What I should have done here is what I realized after the game, is that I should have went for the Earthquake, because the Earthquake kills Volcarona at the low percentage, because after the Expanding Force, Volcarona would have been, if not dead, Earthquake would have killed it, even though it's resisted. And Flutter Mane dies in one shot to a Stab Earthquake from Landorus, even through the Intimidate. But I went for the Rock Slide, and it caused the Flutter Mane to live on very low HP. In this last turn, he still has a turn of Tailwind. And in hindsight, I probably should have protected with both of them, but I didn't have Protect on my Valiant, and Landorus, I don't know what I was thinking. I misplayed, and went on the offensive again. Which, with his faster Dazzling Gleam, is sure to pick up the KO on both sides, because Flutter Mane is very strong, and he's always going to move first. And then Urshifu here doesn't do anything, because there's no target. He loses the Tailwind, and then I send out my Rapid Strike, at which point I don't have anything I can do here. The only thing I can hope to do is go for the... is maybe strike out the Flutter Mane and hope to God that he misses with whatever he's gonna throw on his Urshifu Dark, which he doesn't. Obviously, I get Moonblasted, get brought to Sash, and then he kills me with Close Combat because he wins the speed tie. So if I wins game one, was a very very good win. I think there was a lot of misplays on my part, but all of them were taken into consideration on game two. Now here, I have a couple things more in consideration. First of all, I became increasingly aware of the differences and importance in speed tie in this particular matchup. Usually, speed ties in normal regulation F are very important, or any normal regulation in normals where both teams can have the same mods. Speed ties and tailwinds are very important because it's the difference between winning an entire turn, wiping both enemies at the same time, and not getting a chance a turn to play. Thank you for the follow, Scooby. Hugh now ran Protect on one monster auto character as SMH. I didn't run Protect because I ran Coaching on the Iron Valley because he's supposed to be a one and done mon. I didn't expect him to live the first turn because he went for the Moonblast on the Lando, and I would have thought that it was gonna one shot the Valiant. The Valiant is there to serve entirely as support. I really best 7. No. I'm still on the first one. You're still on time. Here I take a lot more bigger careful approach to the Tailwind and the speed matchups. And I opened the same Indeedee Landorus because I just had to take that into consideration. He sends out Clefairy Volcarona this time. He Terras Volcarona because he now knows that my strategy is supposed to be Rock Slide, and he knows that I'm not gonna let that pass. Rock Slide is just the better option here. I go for the Expanding Force because now I can, rather than what's the name? Than Hyper Voice. I go for the Rock Slide. He goes for the Tailwind, and he goes for the Icy Wind. Here, he shouldn't have gone for Follow Me, because he knows well that both of my mons have spread moves. So it's a bit pointless to use Follow Me on spread moves because Follow Me doesn't work on spread moves. Single target moves. So if I would have went for Stomping Tantrum, for example, he would have attracted the Stomping Tantrum, but because I used the spread move, it's going to hit both opponents regardless if he uses Follow Me or not. Although the double speed control is also not super encouraged unless we're talking about very specific speed ties, because he already has doubled speed. He doesn't need me to have lesser speed. He's already faster than both my mons. So go for the second turn. Now here, I swap out Lando for Articuno for one simple reason. I want... Articuno is a very specially bulky mon. Articuno was brought here to deal with Volcarona, Fluttermane, and Hydreigon. And also Garchomp, but Garchomp wasn't brought in, so there was a very... This was a very last-minute decision. This was like I had the entire team drafted out. Instead of Articuno, I had Murkrow. But then I thought, oh, it's probably with Murkrow in this specific team, there's a high chance of me accidentally anti-synergying and going like Murkrow and Indeedee and taunting with Psychic terrain, which is gonna essentially not work. So here I went Articuno with the intention of being a Freeze-Dry Tailwind support. He goes for the Helping Hand on the Clefairy. It's going to Struggle Bug, and it's going to deal massive damage to Indeedee because the Helping Hand is essentially boosting the power by half. Here, I don't mind. I go for the Expanding Force, which, again, because of the Struggle Bug, barely misses the double KO, but it's entirely fine. I set up the Tailwind. He goes for the Struggle Bug again. It kills the Indeedee. It's fine. I here set up the Tailwind. Right now, I am on the winning advantage. I have 4 turns of Tailwind. He has 2. Or rather, after this one is going to be 3 and 1. Which means that here, I send out Lando. I'm going to Protect to stall his last turn of Tailwind. So I'm going to Protect. He's also going to Protect because he thinks I'm going to go on the offensive. All 4 mons use Protect here, which I thought was very funny. And we went Shiksan, good turn. We're so good at this game. Here he uses Follow Me, which again I don't know. We actually do. Here it wouldn't matter here. He is entirely fine with losing Clefairy here. He can go first with Icy Wind. Helping Hand's not gonna work because Volcarona is not gonna throw a move. Protect. The only thing he could have done is Protect maybe. Because he now can, because he used Protect on the turn before that one, failed to Protect, and now he can use Protect again. It's the only move he could have gone for, and his Volcarona, yeah, either Protect or Swap, but it's not worth to swap a slow mon at 2% HP. So he's entirely fine with just losing both of his mons here. I go for the Rock Slide. Icy Wind doesn't do anything. Here he sends out Urshifu and Fluttermane. Now here, this is a damn near like winning spot here for me. I still have, he doesn't know this, I still have my Urshifu on the back with good damage. Here I just need to take out of one of his mons to win the game. He gets a Speed Boost from Photosynthesis, but Speed Boost from Photosynthesis does not make him like outspeed my mons. I go for the Earthquake, which barely misses the KO on the Urshifu. And here, I also went for the Icy Wind so that I could essentially like always be faster when Tailwind runs out next turn. He kills the Articuno with Wicked Blow. The priority here of his should have been to take care of the Landorus because Landorus is the main damage dealer. Articuno can't hit any one of them for super effective damage because Articuno doesn't have a reliable flying type move to take care of the Urshifu, and the Urshifu is already like low health. So he should have gone for the Landorus here. I lost my my Tailwind, and also I lied. I brought Valiant again because I meant to use the Dazzling Gleam here. Here he goes for the Dazzling Gleam, which one-shots the Valiant, which was an unfortunate critical hit. But it happens. It's entirely fine. And on here, my Earthquake essentially just picks up the double kill. It finished on 2%. This was a very close matchup, but a good one nonetheless. And now on the third one, hold up, I have to accent. Oh shit! 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now it should be game 3. Good morning, Hermano. Good morning, Hermano. How's it going? No, I haven't reviewed yours already. Don't worry. I'm reviewing all of them top down. Okay. This is the last match. I opened with Ogre Pawn and Ndidi for a difference. He opens with Hydreigon and Clefairy. Here is again most of the same. I Dazzling Gleam to attempt to pick up the kill and double up on the Hydreigon so he doesn't move, because my mons are faster than his. Goes for the Icy one for the slow. That's entirely fine. He then sends an Incineroar to lower my attack. I Terra Fire to get the attack boost back. He goes for the Protect on the Clefairy. I Dazzling Gleam to pick up some chip on the Incineroar. And don't ask me why, but for some reason I domed the Clefairy, which is entirely fine. He Parting Shots the Ndidi. Parting Shot is a very good move for maintaining tempo. I don't think that Parting Shot, the support mon, the mon that only serves as support, was a good idea. I think he should have gone for the Ogre Pawn to minimize my damage as much as possible, because Ogre Pawn hurts a lot. He swaps out the Flutter Mane. He gets the speed boost. It's entirely fine. I swap to Articuno, so I can get so I can wall the any potential moves, because Articuno is a very good special wall. He follow me's, goes for the Shadow Ball, does good damage to the Ogre Pawn. I IV Cudgel the Clefairy for the one shot, because Terra Fire Ogre Pawn hurts a lot. Here I swap back into Ndidi because I saw him use Shadow Ball. And he's not going to use the Fairy type move because Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam don't pick up kills on Ogre Pawn. So, because I know he's going for the Shadow Ball again. And he has a Fire type which he can hit the Articuno with. I swap out to my normal type. So Shadow Ball doesn't hit. I set up the Tailwind for free. He goes for the Flare Blitz, which barely misses the kill. I heal a bit, but it doesn't matter. He Terras into Fairy. I Dazzling Gleam to pick up some chip damage. I'm entirely fine with losing these 2 mons for tempo, by the way. But they have served their purpose. I've done my chip. I've set up my Tailwind. I am on a winning position here if I lose these 2 mons. He goes for the thing. I slow them more, so because he has a Photosynthesis boost. He goes for the knockoff on the Ndidi. It's entirely fine. Here, I just swap in Landorus, and from here on out, he lost his Levitate Mon, he lost his Support Mon, he has no resistance to ground. I am just free to press the Tailwind boosted Earthquake and just carry the game. I don't get damage on the Articuno because he's Flying type, and I pick the double kill. Again, as far as how he played, there's plays that he could have done. For example, he could have gone game 2. I could have... on a hypothetical perfect situation where on the game 1 I didn't misplay, and on game 2 he doesn't misplay, I win game 1, he wins game 2, game 3 went about as well as it could have been. I don't think he could have predicted that I was gonna swap the Ndidi out only to swap him back in again, which is fine. But even if he hadn't done that, I still had Lando in the back. I still had my Ogre Pawn alive. I would have still had the Ndidi alive. On a perfect situation, the battle would have still gone the same way. FY played very well. I feel like this was a very hype match. On my position, on my seat, my heart was racing because I don't think the first match could have been as hype as 2 Titans essentially clashing against each other. And our next week is going to be the same thing because I'm going to verse Angst. But I think I'm very happy with the results. I think a best of 3, match extending to game 3 is about as well as it could have gone. Let's go for match 2. Match 2 is Little Angst versus Solaria. So, okay, analyze the teams. The teams here, with Solaria is a little bit limited because it's the standard Tinglu Dozo set, but lacking Tinglu instead of Gyapdos. Excuse me. And with Angst, you have a lot of different strategies. I think his draft is probably one of the more, one of the better ones. Um, he has a lot of variety to do a lot of things here. He has a lot of different supports on Grafii, Electabuzz, Grimmsnarl. He has some trickery with H Zoroark. He has slacking Grafii. He has Goldengo with Grafii and Grimmsnarl. He has Sneasler, which were like a very much regulation aged Titans. And on Solaris side, we have again the standard Tingludozo set with Pow Knights and Gouging Fire. We have Ogerpon Wellspring instead of the standard like Goldengo, and Gyarados and Duraludon to like round up certain cores. For the teams, I think they were like very well crafted. I think in Solaris' case, against Angst's team, I probably would have dropped the Gyarados unless we're bringing like a brick set to potentially deal with Grimmsnarl screens because the entire team is physical. Power Knight is a good presence. I think Dondozo probably should have made an appearance, but because it walls a lot of Angst's mons. But let's see how the other turns went. We open up. This is a good one, yeah. Open up Grimmsnarl, Goldengo, Gouging Fire, and Gyarados. We get a speed Processes boost. We Terra Fairy to dodge the heat crashes. We fake out the Gouging Fire. Here, I don't think the Terra Fairy was needed. It's a very much an early Terra if we're intending to fake out the Gouging Fire. Also, another one is that Terra is faking out the Gouging Fire when there's a chance of him pressing Burning Bulwark and burning the Grimmsnarl is a risk. But it went well, so again, like if it goes well, like that like there's nothing to be said. Sorry goes for the coaching on the Gouging Fire, but you set up the nasty plot. You go for the +2. He protects here to dodge any incoming retaliations, so he can set up the screens safely. He goes for the Thunder Wave to neuter the Gouging Fire speed boost even more. We go for the coaching again. I don't think I don't think the coaching here, the second one, was needed because the idea here is to go on the offensive after the first one. I think the right here we could have gone for the offensive, maybe trying to strike out the Grimmsnarl because we can't hit the Goldengo for very well, or potentially swap for a mon that can deal better with the Goldengo. Like for example the Ogerpon Wellspring. Here she goes for the Heat Crash, which is fine. Now we swap to the Wellspring and we Angst go for the Fake Tears Dazzling Gleam. Because of Prankster, Fake Tears will always come out first, and going for the Fake Tears and a +2 on the Dazzling Gleam is essentially hitting the Gouging Fire with a +4. And +4 anything, much less a Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam, will surely kill, which is what happens, even through the type disadvantage. Qianpao comes in. Here Qianpao goes for the Protect, and we go for the Double Protect. I think this was a bit of a risk, because there is very little that Goldengo could have done here, because Qianpao and Ogerpon both outspeed all of these mons. The only thing that Angst could have done here is either go for a second screen, which is not needed because it's only physical, or go for Thunder Waves. Here, both of them Protect, which is only good if you're trying to stall out turns, but I don't think it was the case because you need to protect a lot to stall out Reflect. For the Dazzling Gleam, we Terra Stellar and Angst goes for the Thunder Wave, which doesn't affect the Qianpao because it's a Dark type. Here I probably would have opted for tearing the Ogerpon instead of having it take the. Hold up. I think like the Terra should have come on the Ogerpon instead of the the Qian Pao, I would have probably sacked the Gyaptos here because the only purpose is to probably deal with this one because you don't hit a lot of these monsters for super effective damage, which is probably why I wouldn't have brought in it. Over the T-Wave, Ice Skull Crash on the Qian Pao, Horn Leech on the Goldengo. Here, the play could have probably been to Ivy Cudgel, because Ivy Cudgel has a high chance to crit and deals more damage, and no damage you heal is gonna save you from the next Dazzling Gleam. Aang swaps for the Grim for the Primarina, which is a swap. I don't know the here like the choices are limited. His only physical move is Fake Out, so the moment Grimmsnarl runs out of moves, it's a sitting duck. Ogrepon goes for the Follow Me, which I don't think it wasn't the move here, because Follow Meing doesn't work on an enemy that you know is going for spread moves. So in this case, the Ice Skull Crash on the Qian Pao, the last two Ice Skull Crashes should have probably went on the Goldengo, because he doesn't resist it anymore, and you probably could have gotten a lot more damage out of it. Follow Me does nothing on the Dazzling Gleam, which again tanks both of these guys out. Well, under the Focus Sash. Here, she goes for the Ice Skull Crash with this 50%, which means that on the last turn, had we not gone for the other move, what was it? Was it Horn Leech? No. What was it? The move? Or was it? What was it like? Yeah, the last move should have gone, instead of hitting the Grimmsnarl, we should have probably focused a little bit on the Golden, because it's the problem on here. Gyaptos go for the Brave Bird, gets the crit and one shot on Primarina. There was a clutch flinch from the Ice Skull Crash here. Sneasler comes out, you protect because he doesn't want to. He knows that now Sawyer is going to focus him. Direclaw gets the kill here. The Brave Bird also one shots the Sneasler because it's super effective. And now it's kind of messy, because the only move the Sawyer could have done here was to protect, so you can tank the fake out, and then go for the all-out offensive on the Goldengo. But after the game, we checked that Zapdos did not in fact have protect, and had to tank both these attacks and essentially win. This was very well played by Anx. I think there's a room to improve on both sides. But into game 2, we started going for a different lead. Anx goes for Grafai Ice Sneasler, and we go again Gouging Fire but Dragonite this time. Here, I think this start is also very good. I think swapping up starts is decent when you know that what you're going for, what the strategy is. In this case, is neutering Gouging Fire. Here, Anx goes for the Terra Flying. He goes for a very unconventional strategy, which is to Prankster Swagger the enemy, and then using a Mirror Herb to copy the stat boost. So essentially, he just got a Swords Dance boost. He goes for the Direct Claw, which still, I don't think was the correct move here, because I'm pretty sure a +2 Terra Flying Acrobatics would have done a lot more damage. But I'm not sure on the mats. It would have done more damage. I don't know if it would have killed though. Gouging Fire goes to Heat Crash. Dragonite unfortunately hits itself in Confusion and does a lot of damage because of the Swagger. Because the Confusion damage is based on your attack, so he just essentially took a third of his health for attempting to move. Sneasler go for the second Dark Claw, which gets the kill. Unburden Boost essentially makes it so Sneasler is always faster than the Gouging Fire. It did not kill, so I wanted to gamble for the status. Yeah, that was the only other move. Oh yeah, Grafaya Foul Play takes consideration the enemy's attack, so because the attack was boosted, it dealt double damage. Now Qian Pao Gyaptos. Again, Anx tries to swagger the Qianpao again. Sneasler goes for the acrobatics on the Zapdos. And I Still Crash picks up the kill on the Grafaiai. Now I send out Goldengo, and now it's essentially a 1v3. Qianpao goes for the Sucker Punch, which one-shots the Goldengo without tearing. The close combat makes it the Qianpao bring the Sash. And now the Primarina comes out, but at this point it's a little bit too late. Here, the Protect didn't make a lot of sense because if you're facing 2 mons to 1, Qianpao has no spread moves. There's nothing you can do to hit both of the opponents at the same time. What you should do is just pincer the one opponent, because he can only target one of you, and he is at 1 HP. A sneeze kills Qianpao. He got the read right here, which is good, but had he gone for like like an Ice Crash or something on the Primarina, like Gunk Shot or something, and would have killed the Primarina, the Sneasler would have died on the next turn. With a Sucker Punch, for example. Primarina goes for the Hyper Voice here and gets the kill. So again, well played on both sides. I think there's places to improve on both sides. For example, again, in these situations, like, you just want to pincer, because it doesn't matter if you win by 1 mon or 3. It only matters if you win the games. Going 4-0 and winning twice is exactly the same as winning with 1 mon left and going to 3 games, or winning only 2 games. But again, good strategy by Anx. I think there's room to improve on both sides. Sorry, probably needs to work a little bit on the team building, but I like the ideas where both I like the ideas of both teams. I think they're both had shred ideas. I think that Ting Lu could have gotten a little bit more usage on this game. Pow Knight is also a very good combo. Ogre Pawn Wellspring was a little bit underexplored here. Could have had more light on the spotlight, but I'm overall proud of both players. Now let's go to Taco and Subvertimon. Okay, Taco and Subvertimon. Here is the one that I probably think I could have what's I say? This is the one that I think there was a little bit of a miss build, because both teams have like a very straight like comps they want to go for. For example, if I go look at the draft, we have a lot of variety from Taco. We have like strong metamons like Ursulina, Blood Moon, Whimsicott, Rillaboom, and then we have like off strategies like T-Tar and Excadrill. We have Regidrago that works really well with Whimsicott. And then we have like 3 monsters that like top the comp off. With Subvertimon, we have the same thing, except we have Subvertimon here had a lot of good choices that he did not go for. Raging Bolt here probably doesn't do as well, because it's an electric type, and he has two electric immunities, 2 electric resistances, and 3 electric resistances, and only like 1 weakness, and only 2 mons that are like weak to electric or dragon. Although there's a lot of different moves you can slap on Raging Bolt. Not bringing neither of the genies here, I think, was a little bit of a mistake, because you have 2 mons that are weak to flying, 2 mons that have the can't hit flying types, and mons and a free Tailwind set with priority and disruption. You have Eerie Impulse, which can decrease the special attack of Regidrago, Blastoise, Ursaluna. Whimsicott doesn't really matter, but you have a Prankster Tailwind, so you know you're always gonna be on the same even playing field, because the moment he brings Whimsicott and you have a Prankster Tailwind and you don't, you're gonna be at a disadvantage if he manages to kill your only form of speed control. I think Subvertimon respected the the electric resistance and immunity is a little bit too much, and I think and the T-Tar a little bit too much. I think there was place where this could have there could have been a lot better team building here. But again, it's week 1. We can sort that on our times, but I think Supremon's team could have been explored a little bit better. But it still has like decent power. Like the singular range setter with only Gudra also probably hurts. I think Pelipper could have been easily swapped by Tornadus here, because the only what other like Rainmon quote unquote would be Gudra. You're not looking to eliminate any fire resistances to Wo Chien or Brute Bonnet. But let's see how the game went. We open Whimsicott Ursaluna, and he opens Ditto and Brute Bonnet. Does Mirror copy negative boosts? No, it doesn't. Only stat boosts. Here, Ditto is an interesting mon because Ditto copies the mon that is in front of it. So, in Supremon's case, this could have gone really well or decently bad. It went really well because he copied the strongest mon on Taco's team. We open with Brute Bonnet. Here, we can go for a lot of stuff. Taco wants to again set up a speed control, maybe a protect, and then go for on the offensive. He wants to set up his board before he goes for the attacks. We go for the special defense Protosynthesis boost, which is interesting. Usually they Brute Bonnets have an attack boost, so they can really hurt with moves like Sucker Punch and whatnot. Whimsicott sets up Tailwind, and I was gonna say Freddy Fazbear immediately goes for the Hyper Voice to do massive damage. I think here we probably could have explored the damage a little better, because since he has a special defense boost, you know you're not gonna one-shot him. So I probably would have just gone for the Blood Moon and pick up the kill on the Ditto, or even gone like for the Terra Normal or something, if needed. We go for the Throat Spray, we get the boost. He goes for the Blood Moon, one-shots the Whimsicott, which didn't have, interestingly enough, the Focus Sash. Brute Bonnet goes for the Spore on the Blood Moon, which, again, really good move. About as well as it could have gone. Regidrago's out. He is just free to press Dragon Energy and go for the sweep. We swap the Hatterene, which is a good swap. We want to preserve this mon as much as we want. Here, we probably should have Terra'd, because we're very weak to Dragon Energy and a potential like Blood Moon. And since we have the special defense boost, we want to make sure that like we want to neutralize the Regidrago like as much as possible. Brute Bonnet goes for the attack on the Regidrago, which doesn't hurt as much because again, this is the boost on the special defense. Dragon Energy barely scratches the Brute Bonnet. Sucker Punch here is a really good move because Dragon Energy is essentially Eruption and a Water Spout. It does more damage the more HP you have. So if you go for a priority move, you essentially are cutting off Regidrago's damage. Here Regidrago protects. The Sucker Punch misses because it's not using an attack. And he goes for the Hyper Voice, which is a really good move. The Dazzling Gleam also misses the Regidrago and barely scratches the Ursaluna. Reluvum swaps out, which is also a good swap. Again, Sucker Punch, he's trying to focus a little bit too hard on the Regidrago, which I think is a misplay. Because Regidrago's out, the moves you can expect from Regidrago are Dragon Energy and Earth Power. None of those moves do any damage to these two. What Supremon's should have done after hitting the first Sucker Punch on the Regidrago is that he should have focused the Ursaluna instead. Because at 50% HP, Dragon Energy is a spread 75 move. It's basically hitting a 50 base power move on both opponents, which is not a lot. So maybe targeting the Ursaluna would have been a better choice here. Hyper Voice picks up the double kill, which is to be expected with the first boost. Here he sends out the Ditto first, which means he's gonna copy the Rillaboom and then the Pelipper. Saving the Pelipper for last was it wasn't like that. How do I say this? Like probably shouldn't have been like the option, because you are speed control is good when it's used like in the beginning. You want to set up speed control as fast as you can. Not having him having a speed control on the back means you're depriving the rest of your team of a speed boost, and now you're giving a speed boost to a 36% HP Ditto. Rillaboom goes for the fake outs to prevent any things. The Grassy Glide copy one-shots the Blood Moon. Regidrago's out. He's gonna protect because he wants to save from Grassy Glide, because Taco knows that Suberdimon is respecting the Regidrago a little bit too much, and it wants to focus him as much as he can. Rillaboom goes for the knockoff, one-shots the Ditto, or goes for the rest of HP. Hurricane does a lot of damage, but now he's put in a very interesting position, because he's facing a 1v2 with the Moni was respecting a little bit too much, and another one that hurts a whole lot and is still faster. Pelipper for the Protect to try and install turns. Regidrago for the Terra Blast. Knockoff protects. He Terra Fairies for the boost to the Terra Blast. And the knockoff picks up the kill. Here. Go the same way. If you guys notice this, wait, is this game 1? Oh, they didn't. They did the wrong thing. Okay. They were still like typing out the Terra types before I made the script. Okay, we open with Pelipper, Wo-Chien, T-Tar, and Excadrill. Here, I think was a lot better opening, because you the way these abilities work is okay. The way abilities work, for example, you have a lot of abilities that work out on entry. Like for example, in this game, you have T-Tar with Sandstream, you have Wo-Chien with Tablets of Ruin, and you have Drizzle with Pelipper. This is also very good for people if you're trying to scout out speeds. Is let's say this is Pelipper. Let's say this is T-Tar. And this is Wo-Chien. Genuinely. So the way this works is, let's say that Pelipper has 100 speed, right? T-Tar, let's say, has 110. And let's say that Wo-Chien has 105. The way the abilities come out is, the faster the mon means the faster the ability comes out. So the priority is going to be, T-Tar is going to be the first one, Wo-Chien is going to be the second one, and Pelipper is going to be the third one. So, having said this, what's going to happen is, first, these mons are going to come out at the same time. T-Tar's Sandstream is going to come up, which means the weather is going to be Sandstorm. Wo-Chien comes out, which means Tablets of Ruin activate. And then Pelipper, since he's the slowest, means the Drizzle is going to activate. What happens is, now, the weather that's going to be right now, it's going to be rain. Because T-Tar was sent out first, which means Sandstorm activates. And when Pelipper comes out after him, with a lower speed, his Drizzle is gonna override the Sandstorm, which means the final weather is going to be rain. This also happens, and is very important, especially with Pokemon with terrain moves. So Galarian, Weezing, both Indeedee, and Rillaboom. One of the biggest fights there used to be in Regulation H, for example, terrain was very important. So when you had mons like Rillaboom and Indeedee, it was very important, and some people used to run the most undersped Indeedee to underspeed the Rillaboom so that the Psychic Terrain would come out after. And coming out after means that they're going to be the final terrain. So in this case, because we know Pelipper is slower than the T-Tar, by the way, if we see the abilities, for example, if I see, oh, T-Tar's ability came out first, and then Pelipper's, we already know that T-Tar is going to be faster than Pelipper. So in that case, we want to set up the Tailwind, for example. This is very important. This is the type of stuff you want to like note down. Like when you're in battle, like you send out the two mons. You send out like both mons with the weather sets, and then you think, okay, T-Tar, a Sandstream came out first, so I know T-Tar is faster than Pelipper. So I have to play according to that. Parts other, that's rude as fuck, Angst. Why the fuck would you call me that? So anyways, so in this case, for example, you see here, you send out Wo-Chien, Pelipper, T-Tar Sandstream came up, and then Wo-Chien. Oh, whoops. We see these mons come out the first time. T-Tar is faster, and then Wo-Chien is faster, and then Pelipper is faster. Sends out Whimsicott, swaps the Goodra. He Terra Steals for to potentially dodge like a Weather Ball from the Pelipper. Sorry for the unrelated question, but is it possible? Is it possible to make a viable team with or around Articuno Galar? Oh, of course, yeah. Articuno Galar is a very good upgrade. Freezing Glare. Articuno's Galar's biggest problem is that he's a mon that gets access to Expanding Force and can use it. That's his biggest flaw. Otherwise, he has a pretty decent stat spread, has a good Tailwind. Freezing Glare is a really good move, good option to Psychic. It's definitely possible to make a team. Now here, X goes for the Rock Slide because he wants to essentially use the Sand Rush. He wants to swap T-Tar out so he can swap it back in to get rid of the rain. But what's it called? Subrimon also thought of that, so he swapped the Pelipper out just in case he wants to bring it back in and sets the rain again. Heavy Ball, you just aren't thinking. Iron Ball, and yes, I did think of that, and it's still ass. I have tried it, okay? Whimsicott has a Tailwind, and he has a Sandstorm out. Knockoff takes off the Covert Cloak. Wo-Chien sets up the Leech Seed. Here, Subrimon's trying to play the long game. He tanks the Wo-Chien eats the Fire Punch like it's nothing because Tablets of Ruin reduces the attack. He goes for the Breaking Swipe to try and neuter his attack even more. Ruination. Here, I probably should have... oh, shit. Here, you probably want to play around the speeds, for example. Like, for example, you see here, Wo-Chien is slower than Goodra. In this case, for this type of strategies, you probably want to make your Wo-Chien a little bit faster than the Goodra, so Ruination comes out first, and then the Breaking Swipe. Because had we gone for the Ruination first, T-Tar would have been a lot lower in HP. Swaps for the Pelly to get rid of the Sandstorm. Protect the Wo-Chien. He eats the Moonblast. Goes for the Pelly. Rock Slide does minimal damage. Here, instead of the Ruination, he probably should have just kept Leech Seeding and Protecting because he wants to keep the Wo-Chien alive so you can neuter his strong physical attackers. Ran out of Tailwind, he set the Tailwind again, goes for the Rock Slide, gets the crit on the Pelly, the Leech Seed, and the unfortunate flinch on the Pelly. Here, I think the the hard swap to Regidrago wasn't super smart because at any point he could have just pressed Leech Seed again on the Regidrago, and you would have immediately been on an incredible disadvantage. He swaps the Ditto to copy the Regidrago, which again isn't super smart because on a Tailwind, the Taco has a speed priority, which means he's always gonna move first, and Regidrago's just gonna take the 100% Dragon Energy and get one shot. Drago wipes both of his mons here, and now we're just kept at one Gudra versus the World, which dies to Dragon Energy. Here, Taco played as well as he could. Obviously, some misplays, but relatively it was fine. What I think should have we should have done with Suburimasim is that we should have worried a little bit more about the speed control, because Taco having Tailwind and him not having any form of speed control, it probably was on the Pelly, but it doesn't matter because he got flinched and then he only used Protect. We put ourselves at a massive disadvantage because with mons like Regidrago that want to move first, we're just we're playing with 1 foot back, and none of his mons are natural. Only Gudra can speed tie Regidrago. I think there's definitely room for improvement from both sides, but I might need to work on a bit with the team building, because I think there was a lot of power that wasn't very explored well here. But again, congrats to both players. I don't think that there was many like random moves and whatnot. Okay. Here, we're playing on Snivy's side is a very standard like Trick Room team. It's a 4 slower mons with 2 decently to fast mons, and Bones is playing a very obvious Sun / Trick Room team. Again, very good. 3 slow mons with 3 fast ones. It's probably a Tail Room team on the Sun, which is relatively a good gimmick. Here, let's go. This is the game 1. Yeah, this is game 1. Here we start with okay, we open Reunicle Snivy and Torkoal Swing Lilligan. Here the strategy is a little bit obvious. We swap Snivy out for the Chandelier. The after you explosion eruption comes out. Reunicle sort of eats that enough to set up the Trick Room. We swap the Terra Grass to resist the. Excuse me. We go Terra Grass so we can dodge any moves from Torkoal, block the eruption, and also to lose the fire type weakness. So now we only have 2. He goes for the earth power, doesn't do a lot of damage. We manually set up Rain Dance, which is a good idea, and go for the Heat Wave, which does one-shot the thing. The thing that I didn't really get here was it's a bit of a risky move to go for Rain Dance and Heat Wave. Although we do have the Flash Fire boost, which in this case it doesn't matter, but it's definitely some food for thought. Sends out the Ferrograph, swaps the Great Tusk in the water type. Again, this is the type of move that I didn't understand at first, which if we really truly want the Sun out, we're not choice specs. So here in this case, we either Earth Power the Reuniclus or Protect to try and stall out the Trick Room. Swapping to a fast mon on Trick Room is not a super good idea because we put ourselves at a disadvantage, especially against Reuniclus, because we're swapping a fighting type mon into a psychic type weakness. We go and we also terrestrialize water type, which also wasn't a very good idea because we are losing our psychic type weaknesses and putting ourselves at a Shadow Ball distance. I think this Terra was a little bit random, and this swap wasn't optimal. Shandy goes for the Shadow Ball, and the Psychic went for on the photograph for some reason, but it still went well. He goes for the Trick Room to try and take the Trick Room out, so you can have still priority. We go for the Ice Spinner, which is a good move on the Shandy. Unfortunately, misses the kill. Shadow Ball does pick up the KO on the photograph, and the Psychic just kills the Great Tusk. And here we kind of, again, put ourselves at a disadvantage because by taking the Trick Room out, and we kept the Slowmon in. In this case, had he not swapped a Great Tusk, he could have Earth Powered the Reuniclus to get it out of there and not have to worry about it. And then when the Trick Room, when he disables the Trick Room, he could have sent out the Great Tusk and would have been immediately on an advantage here because Great Tusk is naturally faster than anyone on his team except maybe the Terrakion. Shandy goes for the Pain Split, which again was just like they didn't really do much. Like Shandy should have just gone for the Shadow Ball here. The Pain Split seemed a little bit random. You're just revealing a move to your opponent with no need, but it's fine. The Solar Beam goes off into the Shandy for some reason, and the Shadow Ball then picks up the kill. Aura points. It's not aura points if you're revealing your strat. I thought it would do more. Pain Split does like 30%. Like the only thing you did was hurt yourself. Second game. We go Crawdons, Terrakion. We opened with different openers. We went this opener I like a lot more. And this is a thing that didn't make a lot of sense to me, was that this entry wasn't explored more. Here we get the attack boost on the Quark Drive. We Aquajet the Iron Hands, which didn't really make sense to me when I first saw it. And Terrakion goes for the Zen Headbutt. Like, it's good to focus the Iron Hands. Here we, instead of setting up speed so we can outspeed with the Iron Hands, we use Heat Wave. Zen Headbutt does more damage. Thunderbolts and Wild Charge pick up the kill on the Shandy. Snivy comes out. We goes for the Headbutt again, which does pick up the kill this time. Again, had we set up Tailwind on the first turn, he could have went for the Drain Punch on the Terrakion and would have not only killed the Terrakion, but also recovered health and would have been immediately on a winning position. The T-Bolt gets the Paralyze, which is fine. Light Screen was not going to do much. Close Comet picks the kill on the Terrakion, and now Bones is on the winning position here. Heat Wave does some damage to the Snivy. Reflect is just stalling for time. Close Combat does a lot of damage. And then the Heat Wave picks up the kill. And now for game 3, again, this is... I like this. This game 2 was a spark of hope for Bones, because he realized that the Torkoal Lilligant entry isn't going to be as safe as long as he has a Flash Fire Mon on the back and a Mon that can resist it, or 2 in this case. Which confuses me as to why in the third game we went back to opening with not the winning composition. We opened with Photograph for some reason and the Torkoal. Reuniclus swaps to the Shandy. We set up the Light Screen. Eruption again just gets eaten up. Snivy sets up the Earth Power. He goes for the Earth Power on the Snivy. We go for the Dazzling Gleam on the not very effective. Again, had the Earth Power went to the Chandelier that didn't Terra this turn, and Dazzling Gleam would have picked up the kill on the Snivy regardless. Like, we saw the Great Tuscan and Crawdon in. This is also another thing that also confused me. We started using Aquajet in the Sun. When we know that he's not going to go for the... Like, he can't Eruption because it's gonna hurt Solar Beam gets eaten up because the light screen, because we're gonna live regardless. And yeah, there's no way the Crawdon outspeeds the underspeeds the or doesn't underspeed the Great Tusk. I mean, we went for the Shadow Ball on the Great Tusk, which was a risky move. He has 3 Psychic type. He has 3 Fighting type mons. And am I mistaken, or did this Shandy not have Psychic? Because I could also very well be misremembering. The Heat Wave could have probably done a bit more damage here because it's on the sun. Who the fuck runs Psychic on Shandy? Someone that sees 3 Fighting type mons on the enemy team. Great Tusk goes for the Headlong Rush on the Shandy, picks up the 1-shot. Reuniclus comes out. Crawdon Terra Waters goes for the Aqua Jet, kills the Torkoal, and now Reuniclus goes for the Psychic, and Sniper's on a winning position here. Hisuian Lilligant, unfortunately, here does do nothing because we have no Protect apparently, so we can't stall out the Trick Room. There's no priority moves. Oh my god, he does learn Psychic. I know he does learn Psychic. I thought you had that. There's nothing Bones can do. He also doesn't have the Focus Sash on the Hisuian Lilligant, and the Psychic just does pick up the kill. Again, there's places to there's places to both get better. I think some of the swaps and Terras might have been a little bit random, but your Trick Room, Heatwave, Shadow, and Pain Split. I see. Some of the swaps seemed a little bit random, and the Terras were a little bit misguided, but I think overall, like again, as much as we can ask of the players, I think it went as well as it could. Again, as long as the game goes to a game 3, that's fine by me. Again, excuse me. The only thing that I think could have been better in this game 3 is that, again, we should have explored the opening that we knew worked on game 2. If we have a strategy that we know works, that's the strategy we want to go and focus on. Going from a losing strategy to a winning strategy and then swapping to a new strategy is risky, considering you know what they're trying to go for. Me clicking water moves on their sun and fire moves on the rain is so funny. Yeah, that what kind of like odded me out because you're spamming Aqua Jet without terraing on the sun when you had Rain Dance on the Reuniclus. But again, you won, so there's really nothing to complain about here. This is the match between Seraph and Jinko. Make no mistake, out of everyone that is part, we have is it 12 or was it? Yeah, we have 12 participants in this tourney. There is no one in this tourney that is working more than Jinko and Seraph here right now. It is, I think it's very I think we couldn't have asked for a better game 1 for both of these two than to play against each other, because both of them are working out to the bone to try and learn the game that they are not experienced at all. And I think that this best of 3, even though obviously there were misplays on both sides, I think it shows a lot of where they're going, because they are playing with strategies that they just learned how to pilot, and they're doing their best to try to make the best out of it, and they're doing it. Seraph learned a lot about his team. He tried with a lot of different strategies. He tried a lot of different teams with the mons that he had. So did Jinko, learned with a lot of different strategies. We started at one strategy, moved to the other, and then moved to the other. So if anyone's going against any one of these two, just know however hard you're working for, they are working harder. We go game 1. We go Enamorous Gengar, Roaring Moon Mousehold. This is pretty standard. This is contrary Enamorous. He wants to set up superpower as much as possible. We have Gengar, which is just a spec spammer. Roaring Moon is just Carrymon, and then we have a support Mousehold. Hey, what's good, Mama Jace? So Roaring Moon gets the speed boost, Mousehold gets the Terra Ghost. Mousehold goes for the follow me, and Gengar and Roaring Moon goes for the knockoff. Here, you want a Terra Fairy because you want to do as much damage to the Roaring Moon and also dodge a Dark type move, which was a very good Terra by Seraph. And Jinko's Terra Ghost is here to draw any superpowers from the Enamorous away from the Roaring Moon, so he wastes a turn. Knockoff, unfortunately, gets disabled by Cursed Body. Dazzling Gleam picks up a massive damage on both of them, and Seraph goes for the Play Rough, which I can only assume was going to go onto the Roaring Moon. Mousehold tanks 2 moves and maintains the Roaring Moon alive. Politoed comes in. Acrobatics picks up the kill on the Gengar. Enamorous sets up the Sunny Day manually because you want to take the rain away from the rain team. Weather Ball doesn't still do massive damage because it does double damage on any weather. Venusaur comes out and he uses the Sun to boost the Chlorophyll, which means he's the fastest one on the field. Rather, correction. Would have made him the fastest one on the field if Roaring Moon wasn't processes on the speed. Acrobatics picks the kill on the Enamorous. Politoed goes, Venusaur goes for the Giga Drain on the Politoed, which does massive damage. But the Sun being out means the Weather Ball is now a Fire type move and does massive damage to the Venusaur. Here we send out Dragapult, and here we acrobatics the Dragapult, but the move we probably should have gone for, Dragon Claw 100% kills Dragapult here. And even if it doesn't, we want to take one of these guys off. Doesn't matter if it's Dragapult, doesn't matter if it's Venusaur. So we can either Dragon Claw for the one shot on the Dragapult, or acrobatics or attack the Venusaur with any move and get it out of the field. In this case, acrobatics the Dragapult was a bit of a misplay, but again, learning situation. We're here to learn. Venusaur does unfortunately pick up the kill on the Giga Drain and heals a bit, and Dragon Darts does kill Roaring Moon. Had we gone for the kill on any one of these, preferably the Venusaur, it would have been on a 1v1 situation because the Dragon Darts would have just killed both of them. And now we would have sent the Arcalon. Here, Jinko would have been on a complete winning position because Dragon Pulse just one-shots the Dragapult. And Dragon Pulse does not do any damage to the Arcalon that it doesn't get boosted by Stamina. Stamina here completely walls out Dragapult. Dragapult does no damage here. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm here for it. I'm organizing a team for the Discord server. Tournament for the Discord server. I'm just a casual Pokemon player. Yeah. Some of our players are also casual players. But I thought it would be fun if we gave everyone a valid competitive setting to test their metal on. Now here, Seraph goes for the only winning play, which is to essentially Sleep Powder, hope it hits, and then keep trying to chip the Arcalon away until it falls. Dragon Darts gives him a stamina boost, hits again, gives another stamina boost. Arcalon sleeps one turn. Giga Drain for damage. Dragon Darts for more damage, keeps giving him his stamina boosts. Sleeps a second turn. Dragon Darts gives him the final stamina boost. And the critical hit does pick up the kill, but even if it didn't, the Giga Drain would have just healed. go to game 2. And Amorous and Gengar comes out, same strategy. Again, if it works, then you don't need to change the strat. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Again, we had a bit of a panic here. We Terra Flying to potentially go for the Sniper on the Acrobatics. Follow me again to essentially do the same thing. We knock off the Gengar, does 50% damage, and takes out the specs. Dazzling Gleam doesn't do nearly as much damage to any of them now that it doesn't have the specs on, and also Roaring Moon is not quad weak to Fairy anymore. The Play Rough, again, had Jingo not used Follow Me, the Play Rough would have gone to the Roaring Moon, which would have done decent damage. But here, in this case, Seraph should have probably focused a little bit more on trying to go for the superpower. Nozzle goes for Follow Me. Acrobatics kills the Gengar. Here, again, we know that Roaring Moon is going to be Terra Flying, and we know that Maushold wants to draw attacks away from it. So we probably should... Seraph should have probably gone for the superpower here to have a shot, to start stacking up the boosts. Gyrobolt comes out, and so does Politoed. Here, again, a bit of a risk because speed boost means that he's faster. Knockoff one-shots the Dragapult like 100%. Play Rough does do some damage, but again, if only he had a single superpower boost, it probably would have killed. Weather Ball does a lot of damage because it's in the rain. Sun is not out, which means Venusaur is slow. Enamorous Protect, again, the Protect on the Enamorous is fine. It's a bit of a risk. Giga Drain does a lot of damage to the Politoed. Weather Ball to the Water Weather Ball to the Venusaur was probably expecting the Enamorous Sunny Day, which is fine. Acrobatics picks up the kill on the Enamorous, it's fine. Giga Drain does also pick up the kill. I don't know if the Giga Drain would have killed the Roaring Moon at 10% HP, but I feel like it probably should have been Seraph's priority. Arcalon comes out. Acrobatics one-shots the Venusaur, and we go to game 3. Again, we learn from our mistakes, and we move on to the next one. Oh. Ignore this on the side. This doesn't matter. We open the exact same. Terra Flying, Follow Me. This time Gengar doesn't Terra Fairy, which means he dies to the knockoff before getting a move out. Knockoff gets the save, but it's fine. Play Rough, again, this is more of the same. I think Seraph should have banked on the... should have banked a lot more on the superpower. Gyrobolt comes out. He Terra Dragons, which is, again, another risk because you know that the Roaring Moon is faster. So you probably want to get another Mon that can tank a hit. Maushold uses Follow Me. Dragon Claw goes for the one-shot. And Emrys, again, goes for the Play Rough instead of superpowering. Talonflame comes out. Again, we should have probably banked also a little bit more on the Tailwind. Tailwind is also very important here. Politoed comes out. Brave Bird does good damage to the Roaring Moon, but Acrobatics does nearly pick up the kill. Now he starts superpowering, starts stacking a boost, but at 5% HP, now it's a little bit too late. Weather Ball picks up the kill on the Talonflame, and here we just Acrobatics for the win. Again, I think here, in this case, Jinko learned a lot from the first match with Seraph. I think, especially a lot with their practices, and managed to adapt their strategy accordingly. Like, for example, in game 1, she saw that Roaring Moon essentially took a lot of damage from Dazzling Gleam and the Gengar. And so she Terra Flying, so she lost that weakness and started to tank those hits a lot better. So even at 39% HP, Roaring Moon was still dishing a lot of damage. So I think this is a very good display of learning. Excuse me, learning and making the best out of the best of threes. Because best of one, Seraph would have won, but because it's best of three, game two she learned what worked and what didn't, and what she had to worry about. And game three, exactly the same, and games went both her way. Again, this goes for both Seraph and Jinko. I think they are the hardest workers in this week one. I don't think there's two people that were as dedicated to learn as much as they could, like throughout the draft and throughout the team building and the matches themselves. And I'm very. Oh wait! I know. I just now realized that I sent a friend request to the wrong person. Oh, whoops. Okay. I feel like this was the most the biggest upset. I think we have a very solid, strong Sun Sweeper team, and we're going for a very interesting balanced team. We have a Fairy Dragon, Fairy Steel Dragon, which is the fantasy core. We also have a Dark Fighting Fairy. Again, there was very good cores here. Eevee was interesting, and a very good Oops. Hello. Okay. It was a very interesting pick. Eevee comes out. Mean Shao, Walking Wake, Ninetales. Again, very good entries. Mean Shao goes for the high jump gear on the Walking Wake, which unfortunately misses, and there goes half of his HP. Hydrocene does pick up the kill. Here, the Ninetales Encore was probably a misplay, because Encore being the first move here, we should have gone for probably an attack. So does Angst have the most meta team or not? Not the most meta, but definitely the most budget meta, I'd say. I think out of like all of the good picks that he could have done, he picked up a very good budget team. I think that's the best way I can put it. Eevee sets up the Calm Mind. Tinkerton comes out. Again, Tinkerton was probably a risk to bring out here because Steel type in the Sun. I think probably Galar and Moltres would have done a little bit better here. Flamethrower picks up the kill on the Tinkerton. Ninetales encores the Eevee into Calm Mind, which is very good. A bit risky because the entire team is special attackers, but it's fine. Kamo goes Terra Poison. The Draco Meteor Helping Hand does pick up the kill. Here, Eevee Calm Minds into a +4. +3, excuse me. And now, here's where the moves start to seem a little bit random. Walking Wake protects here for no discernible reason, because Eevee has to use Calm Mind. They can't use anything else. Knights is good for the Heat Wave, does chip damage. Calm Mind goes off. Now the Encore ends. From here, we know that Ninetales is faster. And Eevee is currently last use Calm Mind. So Ninetales is free to just press Encore again. For some reason, we swapped the Walking Wake to the Indeedee F. Here's where the moves started to seem a little bit random and probably can need a little bit of work. Psychic starts to get set up, and Ninetales protects for some reason. And Hyper Voice, a +4 Hyper Voice does massive damage to the Indeedee. Here we use Follow Me when Eevee just used the Spread move, which doesn't do anything because Spread moves don't get redirected by Follow Me. Heatwave still does some damage, not nearly enough. Hyper Voice picks up the double kill. Now Walking Wake and Extreme Typhlosion here come out, and this is still, again, a winning position for Seb. Extreme Typhlosion is a ghost type. The only move we've seen Eevee use is Hyper Voice. So we can either go, we can double up with the Typhlosion and the wait, what is his Walking Wake is what Terra? Steel type, yeah, Terra Steel, so you can resist the normal type, so you can Terra Steel the Walking Wake and attack with the Typhlosion, and Typhlosion is immune to Hyper Voice. Here, because of the sun, Photosynthesis activates and gives him the special attack boost, and for some reason Typhlosion terrestrializes to fire and goes for the overheat, which misses. And Walking Wake with the Hydro Steam, because of the plus special defense boost, that misses the kill. And Eevee goes for the Hyper Voice, which picks up the double kill. Oops. I think I did the calc, overheat kills if it doesn't miss. Yeah, but it's a risk that you don't need to take, because had the Typhlosion not Terra'd, the Eevee can't hit the Typhlosion. I think there were some misplays here. Some of the moves seemed a little bit random, like the random Walking Wake Protect and then swap to Indeedee for some reason, and then the Follow Me. I think there were a lot of turns wasted. Now we go to game 2. I have to take the battle off of this because for some reason this doesn't work. Play off. Now we open with we open Palafin, Mienshao, which is fine. Good entry. Ninetales and Chi-Yu. Again, still very strong Sun Core. We protect it with the Ninetales. The high jump, Mienshao high jump kick one-shots the Chi-Yu because it's a dark type. Flip turn on the Ninetales with protect. That's a decent. Walking Wake comes out. We're at an advantage. We Terra Steel type, which again kind of falls a little bit into that like random, because I feel like the Terra Steel here doesn't make sense, because Water Dragon is one of the best defensive typings. You are not going to take damage from Palafin because you quad resist water type moves, and terrestrializing to Steel only makes you weak to Mienshao's fighting type attacks, which causes the high jump kick to essentially just one-shot the Walking Wake. Flip turn does decent damage to the Ninetales and swaps to hero form, swaps the Kamo out. Rabambi comes out. If we wanted to bring Rabambi, it should have been the first mon to come out and not the third one, because again, if you have speed control options, you want them out on the field as fast as you can. You want to set up the speed control. You want to make sure that you move, that you get your team the ability to move first always. Excuse me. Kamo smartly Terra's poisons here, so he loses the quad weakness to Fairy. Mienshao high jump kick kills the Ninetales. Moonblast does negligible damage to the Kamo. Body press does a little bit damage. High jump kick does some damage to the Rabambi Sunny Days when the sun is already up, which at this point doesn't really matter because it's 1 to 4 and Rabambi has no +3s. It's no Eevee. It's no Dragonite. And high jump kick with the body press then picks up the kill. Again, it was very well played from Scooby. I do have to like go through some probably some through some training arc, because I think the team was a little bit underexplored and it definitely can have some work. But again, still it was a very good attempt from Seb, and it was a very well played by Scooby. There's obviously a bit more to ask out of both of them, but regardless, I think it's again, it definitely was an upset. I think the Scooby victory was an upset, as in again, upset as in like the underdog wins. It was definitely a well-played match. I think Scooby played as well as he could, considering the strategies. And that marks the end of week 1. again, I think it ended up very well. It wasn't like one-sided at all. It ended up exactly, again, I thought it was funny because it was like win, 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 loss, loss, loss. Now for week 2, we have me versus Angst. We have FY versus Taco. Bones versus Solaria. We have Sarah versus Sagurimon. We have Sev versus Snivy, and Scooby versus Jinko. And I think everyone here needs a good amount of practice because there's definitely stuff to explore here. I think that from the people that lost week 1, there's stuff that they can learn that they can bring into the next week and hopefully win. In terms of wait, how many? This is gonna be 12 weeks, right? Yeah, it's gonna be 11 weeks. Yeah, so at the end of week 5, from week 5 to week 6, there's gonna be a free agency period here. I will probably like just take the we'll take the week off to like set up the free trade. I still don't know how I want to do it, but regardless, I still want to congratulate all the players. I think all the matches were a blast. We've had a lot of everything. We've had a battle of titans. We've had underdogs against like old winners. We've had weird strategies. We've had upsets. We've had comebacks. We've had we had the showings of the Little League. We had the upsets. We had the Dragonite comeback in week 1 with the Scooby Eevee. But yeah, I couldn't really ask more of that. I think it went actually just like as well as it could. And I'm only hoping that for week 2 we have more of this. I think everyone respected each other's times. Everyone did their math. Everyone like built their teams. Again, I gotta still make a this very clear. I am here to clear up doubts. I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to your cues. I'm here to like put the dots in y'all's texts. I'm here to help build the teams, help practice, help do whatever. And so is everyone else. If you guys go to the tournament general, there's a lot of people asking for help to practice. Seraph is there, Jinko's there, sometimes Bonus is there, Scooby's there. Like everyone is there to help each other out. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And I can only expect and ask. And everyone was also very sportsmanlike, and no one held their games until the very last minute in Sunday. So I thank you very much for that. So I could organize everything up. So yeah, for the review of the week 1, it's just this. There's nothing else, right? Yeah, these are the staffs, the playoffs. Okay, no. Yeah, I guess we can end a few. For the end of the week 1 review, it's just this. Again, if you guys have your logos out, don't forget to send it in our chats. Submit your PNG, preferably, of again your logo. Please don't make it. If you want to edit something real fast, it's fine. If you want to make it scuffed, if you don't wanna, it's fine. Just don't send stuff that was made from other artists. Like, don't go on Google and look up like, oh, this is a cool thing that this artist made, because I will not know, and I don't care to look up who made it. So I'm gonna not be giving credits or whatever. I don't care to look up. Just like look up official art. Go on Bulbapedia, on the gallery. There's a lot of official art made by Pokemon, and make y'all your own emblems. Slap some images in there. Slap some goofy text. Slap some anything. Or if you're an artist, you can draw yourself your thing. And yeah, just to make this more pretty. And I hope to see you guys again on the on week 2, and I hope that it goes just as well as it did on week 1.